Look I'm talking in circles. I'm on an island. I'm getting island fever now. I'm starting to lose my mind. This is an early sign of things to come. What we need to do now is get focused and stop pointing fingers. You're a problem. You're a real problem.
Toxic life of being a support or strategist main within Marvel Rivals. Now, I will play devil's advocate a little bit in this video because I do think there are toxic healers as well. I've even been guilty of this, I'll admit. But for the most part, healers get the brunt of the criticism. They enable so many characters to do so many things. So many good team-ups. They can make a tank look amazing, way better than they actually are, and allow divers and DPSs to do their thing. Yet when we win, a strategist rarely gets the credit, but of course when we lose, most of the time, it's good game no heals, healing diff, or always has to be something to do with healing. Not to mention from my experience playing in this game, most of the toxicity in comments are usually geared towards the healers, especially Rocket and Adam Warlock mains. I really feel sorry for you guys. And what's funny to me is I'm not even somebody that actually started out as a strategist main. The 3 characters I play the most are Scarlet Witch, Groot, and Invisible Woman. I have since then expanded my roster, trying to master at least 2 characters from each role. But the only reason I even started out being a strategist main is because I was filling, which is half the problem right there. Most of the time when you're playing a match, whether in quick play or competitive, a good portion of the time you're gonna have somebody filling a slot, being a team player. But sometimes you will actually get a strategist main on your team. Now, a big reason why I think strategists get the most brunt of the criticism and the hate is because strategists decide the game. If you're in a massive team fight and one of your DPS dies, you can easily balance it out by killing one of their DPSs. The fight is not lost. If your tank is the one that dies, then your chances are even slimmer, but there's still a chance you could win the team fight, especially if you have 2 tanks. But if your healer dies, especially if you're playing with good people, 95% of the time the fight's over. You lost. So there is a significant pressure as a strategist to perform well. Avoid being killed by the divers. Everyone's gonna be targeting you. If you're a strategist main and you hear an enemy ultimate pop off, it is targeted for you. Not to mention you have to survive, fend off flankers while keeping your tanks alive and making them look good and keeping your DPS alive. A decent strategist main will be able to keep their tanks alive, but might not be able to cater to their DPS. A great strategist main will be able to do both while surviving, especially in crucial moments. And as a strategist main, your ultimate, for the most part, is going to decide the game in big moments. So there is little and sometimes no margin for error. When your tanks and DPS can get kills but also die a ton, nobody notices. They go under the radar. Something else I've noticed a lot too is DPS characters demand you switch to a different strategist to get their team up. Now personally, I've become accustomed and comfortable with all the healers in the game, so I really don't mind if the person is polite switching for the team up, but there are healers that I'm way more comfortable with than others. And right from the get-go, people have a stigma towards certain strategists, and the game gets off on the wrong foot before it even starts. Personally, as an Invisible Woman main, I love playing alongside a Rocket Raccoon or an Adam Warlock, and these are the 2 strategists that I see get the most hate. Adam Warlock's Soul Bond can help you survive through an enemy ult and divers, and Rocket you get a free revive. And Rocket's survivability means, as another healer, I don't have to focus him too much and I can focus on the DPS and the tanks. Rocket can survive. And yet I'll be on teams where the team says good game, we lose just because somebody picks Rocket or Adam Warlock on our team, which is absolutely insane. Strategist is most commonly the role that nobody wants to pick, yet everyone will blame and complain. And that is what makes it so much more frustrating being a healer main. You play a big part whether your team wins or loses, but you can't really outright carry a game, especially trying to rank up in those awkward ranks, because your team ultimately does need to secure kills and be able to take space. Yes, you can keep your team alive as well as you can while trying to fend off the enemy threats, but there's only so much you can do. As a healer main, you're never going to be credited with overcompensating for bad DPS, or a bad tank that pushes too far. Teammates that complain that they're not getting healed and it's the healer's fault. When they push way too far, you can't even see them anymore while a Black Panther's trying to ruin your life. There is really no winning in this game as a healer main. Personally, I think if you're somebody that has no interest in being a strategist or healer within this game, you should at least try playing a few games from time to time. You will gain the perspective of the healer, or even better yet, watch your own replays as a Vanguard or a DPS, especially if you're a diver, but toggle the replay in the perspective of the healer that was on your team, and see just how impossible it is sometimes. How tanks won't even use cover or even grab a health pack ever. They completely rely on you, and as an avid Groot player myself, I make a habit of picking my route so that I can grab a health pack and use cover at all times along with my walls, and pay attention to the healers. Secondly, yes, it is the healer's responsibility to also heal the DPS, and be able to survive some diving. You shouldn't completely buckle or fold under the pressure if there's one Black Panther being a nuisance. You should be able to collectively as a team shut it down, and as a healer should be able to survive and deal with it at least somewhat. But very, very little will a team even acknowledge or turn around to look at the back lines. Just complain about the healing, even if you're pinging the bad guys. I can even actually recall the game that knocked me down from Grandmaster back to Diamond. I really need to stop solo queuing at this point, but there was a Magic and Black Panther on my ass, not letting me do anything as Invisible Woman. All I could do was try to survive while healing our tanks and trying to keep everyone else around me alive. I also had a Cloak and Dagger that we were both trying to help keep each other alive. We were on offense trying to get the payload, and we had an Iron Man on our team that was effectively doing nothing, complaining that the reason we're losing is because of healing. Now believe me, I would have been jumping for joy if that Iron Man switched to Namor. I would have even went the extra mile and gave him the Luna team up if he asked. But no, it's our fault. So I proceeded to argue with him on the mic, which I probably shouldn't have stooped that low, but whatever. Sometimes it gets the better of ya. I also been on a team where the entire team from the get-go was just trashing our own team's rocket. They didn't even do anything wrong, and this rocket ended up being our SVP, which doesn't necessarily mean anything, but the rocket actually was playing good. But these players on our team decided that we were going to lose the game from the get-go just because our teammate picked rocket, which is ridiculous. But with that, there does come some good though. As a strategist main, you don't get the glory, but it does feel good, especially since I've gotten really good with Invisible Woman, that I can single-handedly turn the tide of the game. If I have even a half-decent tank, I will make them look amazing. And if my DPS actually take the time to protect the healers, which you do get good teammates sometimes, I will heal the crap out of them and make them shine. For all the crap that you get as a healer and strategist main, it does have its moments that make it worth it. And ultimately, you are the most important piece to the puzzle on your team. Without you, your team doesn't win. Your team can win with one tank, with 3 tanks, a different amalgamation of team comps and roles, but you need healers, especially the higher up you climb. And without them, that's it, you lose. Now to play devil's advocate here before I wrap up the video, there are toxic healers out there. People that heal bot and say, well, I got 30k plus heals. I am not the reason we lost. You can heal bot and be a vital reason why your team lost. I've seen healers also ignore their DPS, or a strategist that refuses to do damage and get kills. Your primary job as a strategist is to keep your team alive. Not just your tanks though, your other healer and your DPS. It's on you to prioritize who you keep alive, depending on the game. I once had to pocket heal our Namor with Luna, give him the team up, and that's what gave us the win. Because the rest of our team, I hate to say it, was just not that great. And I knew as long as Namor stayed alive, we had a chance. You kinda have to decide in the moment. Hopefully your team is balanced, but it is on you to keep them all alive, or make that decision who you prioritize when all of your team looks like they're about to die. You can't heal everyone at once while keeping yourself alive, it's impossible. But to outright ignore your DPS and not heal them out of spite, and just heal bot your tank the entire time, isn't enough. A good example is Invisible Woman. I can get a lot of kills with my force field pushing Wolverines off the cliff, or using my gravity projectile to shoot at a Penny Mind or a Loki clone, or maybe even a Namor squid to help destroy it, but also do damage and get kills. Yes, tanks and DPS have a habit of pushing too far out of your line of sight, but I also see sometimes that strategist mains refuse to even push up a little bit with their team. They must stay on point or they won't move, letting their tanks go on ahead and die. It is the name of the game to take space, and not let the enemy team walk back to point for free. You must contest them at some point. These are some toxic bad habits that I do see strategist mains do, but ultimately, whether it be on the mic or in the chat, I see on the daily an insane amount of toxicity over the healers. Even just today, we had Adam Warlock and Jeff the Shark on our team. Our team lost the first domination round, and our entire team was chirping our healers saying that we're losing because of them. Even though our healers had similar stats to everyone else, honestly they probably had better stats. I was playing Magic, but I switched to Penny to try to help them out, and we ended up winning the next two and getting the win. And our Adam Warlock got MVP. It probably doesn't help that healers are the most vital character on each team in each game, which does put them front and center in the spotlight. What ultimately allows you to push up and take space or go and get your kills, which you like to do, the root of all that is a great strategist on your team. If they're having a bad game, encourage them rather than trash on them or blame them. If your entire team is struggling, figure out why rather than trash your healer. And if your healers are just feeling or not that good or trying to learn the role, don't trash on them. Don't discourage them from playing that role. This game needs more strategist mains and healers, and they need to add more strategist characters and vanguards for that matter, because we are lacking. Enable them to get better and help them. Give them guidance. And if that's not good enough, then switch off Moon Knight for a change. Or Spider-Man, or whoever. And you heal. You do a better job. But anyways, that's gonna end my rant on what it's like to be a healer or strategist main in Marvel Rivals. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, we will see you all in the next one. Later.